Come on, hurry up. You're live. It's 5 a.m. So I gotta put my ear. There you go. Okay, now there's actually volume probably. Hey, good morning. It's 5 a.m. with Mester Scrum. Hope everybody's doing well today. It is Sunday, 5 a.m. on the dot. So I start early. So yeah, you didn't have any volume. There's somebody jumping around back there looking to get me. And how you doing? Good morning. Still learning to get things going. I have my phone recording, and we're live again at 5 a.m. in the morning on Sunday. Some people think that might be crazy. It is crazy. Don't doubt it. I should put my good morning. Good morning. If I can clip the front because there was no sound. I can't type. Anyway, I decided I was going to change up the show a little bit. Before I talk about, I go, hey, what's in my book, and do this and show you daily Scrum. I decided that wasn't really needed. First couple of shows, yeah, why not? But now we're not going to do it. So we're going to go right into it because I want everybody to take away stuff like at the get-go. So we're going to talk about two things we didn't get to talk about the other day. We're going to talk about running daily Scrum by person versus by task. And then we're going to also talk about the two questions I asked you the other day. Like, if you were to ask people, and it's a coaching thing, right? How you get what are you looking for, and taking the agile mindset, right? And turning the gears, right? How many hours did you do versus how many hours to be done? And that's an agile switch on that. And we are going to do it that way. My headset, my phone went off. That's back again. Okay. So let's dive right into it. As a Scrum Master over years, getting debates with people about daily Scrum. How do you run it? What's most effective? And it's kind of interesting, project management wise versus Scrum Master, right? The project manager, I want to know you got everything done. It's got to get done. And I want to track it and record it and show progress on the graph, right? So as a project manager side, it's like, I want the graph to look perfect and I got to make sure it's updated. An agile coach, a real agile coach, isn't so worried about the graph, though they do use the graph to show the team, right? It's part of showing the team. It's really not about doing it. It's just like, hey, team, you're not doing anything. And it's supposed to just wake them up to it, right? That's what the graph is for. So there's a debate between doing daily Scrum by person versus task. And I heard previous I had debates where it'd be like, but I need to know that they actually did the work and they got it done, so I want to do by task. Problem with tasks, not all the tasks are worked initially, right? So if you go task by task or story by story, and no one's really working the story, you're talking about something that's not being worked. And my question for you is that lean, right? I would say no, because you don't talk about stuff that's not being worked in a lean environment, right? That has nothing to do with lean or agile, right? The whole idea is we want to do as most amount of work possible with the least amount of work being done, right? So, and to do that, you don't talk about stuff that's not relevant, right? So there is a debate. When do you do it by task? And I've seen it where people would put it on your tracking system, and they go line by line in the list. Have you done your task? Have you done your story? How's this story coming? There's 5 tasks. Are you done? We should get away from that, right? And we need to teach our teams to not do that. There's times we have to do it. I'd rather say, hey, on the story, we have 4 of the tasks done. There's only 1 left. Can someone get up, someone take it on and finish it and be done, right? That's what I really want to do as a Scrum Master. If I was a Scrum Master, I'd be like, hey, we got 4 out of the 5 done, 1 left. Who's going to take it on? Can we get it done this morning? What are your thoughts? Do we need to do anything special? Are you blocked? What do I need to do to help? Right? And the person wise, the reason I prefer doing it by person. The reason why I do it, it's faster, right? So if you do it by person, a person can talk about a couple of things they're working on and go to the next person. So from a time perspective and lean thinking, they only talk about what they got done, what are they going to work on, and their blockers. So I really want to know in that 15-minute scrum. If you do it by task, I really would say you probably take you more than 15 minutes to do your daily scrum. If you do it by person, it should take you less than 15 minutes to do your daily scrum. And if you have a small team, it should take you 5 minutes, to be honest with you. It shouldn't take long at all. So that's what else I want to do by person. By person also, it makes it easier from the dynamics of going through the room. If you're in a room or you're online, you have, like, especially when I do overseas, what I tell my Scrum Masters to do is make a list of everybody on your team, one after another. So if you have 9 people on your team, 10 people, 12 people, right? You just make a list. Start at person 1. What did you do? What do you got done? What's blocking? Go to second person, and you just work your way through the list, right? And one by one, one by one. Now, if we did it by task, maybe I'm starting on person 5. Hey, Joe, what did you do? Da, 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 da. And then you might have to go back up to person 3. Jane, what did you do? And then, Bob, what did you do? Or, oh, we're on task 5. Who had that one? Oh, it's Jane. We're back to Jane again. Jane is talking again. Oh, now we're back to Bob again, right? Because it's a new task or a new story and they're jumping around, right? So, and then, you want to make sure you cover everybody. Did I cover everybody? Well, hopefully everybody's got a task or something. Sometimes there's not. But if you go by person and they say, I didn't have a task yesterday because no one assigned it to me, or I didn't know where to go, and I was waiting for daily scrums for 6 hours, I just found something to do, right? So you don't want that, right? You want to make sure they always had something. But it's much quicker if they go boom, 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 boom. You get through the whole story, and you're not trying to figure out who's next, and you're not reading what's on the screen and prepping that. And you should be able to track what they were. And we'll talk about what they should ask. Just and make sure they say what the name of the story is. I've had people that would just talk to number the story, and I had to teach them as a Scrum Master. I was like, can you tell us what that is? Because we don't know the numbers memorized by heart. And all viewers are looking at from Scrum Master is that they get something actually done. I'll be honest with you, I don't care what they got done, as long as they got something done. So as long as it's done and out, I'm happy, to be honest with you. Because how many teams do you go to? I'm still working on it. I'm still working on it. I want to hear the word it's done. I don't care which task it really is done, but it's done. Hopefully it's not a task done that's dependent on something else, or you did it and it was out of order and now it's useless code. So hopefully that didn't happen, but you never know. Okay, so that's. Please feel free to comment. I think that might create a debate. Running daily Scrum by task versus by story, or by person. I prefer the person base. I think Agile and Scrum is really by person and not by task. And that one day we'll talk about my Agile accountants that I think that are out there that would want it by task and know how many hours did you spend. Could you fill in the hours? We'll get there. Okay, so fill in the hours. That gets to the next part. So we're at the 10-minute mark. Perfect. Um, Asking 2 questions, and this is like an agile coach thing, right? If I were to ask you how many hours did you do versus how many hours to be done, first off, do is in the past. How many hours you did or do doesn't tell me whether or not you got anything done or when you're going to get stuff done, right? Or when you think you're going to do the handoff to the next person. You can work 12 hours on something next day, but it has no value for the team because it's not ready for the next person on the team to take it. So who really cares, right? Or you could have quoted 5 and it's taking you 12. I'll tell you why that's important in another episode, where the reason why I want to know it's 12 is you need to tell the team that you're probably not going to get as much work done this sprint. And we need to either have somebody else pick up some other work or let the product owner know that we may not deliver a story at the bottom of the list. Prioritized list, I hope. That's a whole other story, right? We'll talk about that another day. That's why this Agile Scrum, I could do this every day, 365 days. There's so much stuff. And it's fun doing all that. Anyway, so, and then what's done? So ask them how many hours to getting done, because that'll trigger all the team and go, yeah, how many hours left? So like if you have 4 more hours, that means I'm going to get your work after lunch, or it's the day, it'll be 8 hours, or okay, so my offshore partners will get it, and if you're in India, I'm your offshore and you're onshore, but my partners, or the Philippines or wherever you're working, you know, when I'm done after 8 hours, that would be today. I got 8 hours left to do this task. That means the other half will get it when they come in the door tomorrow, and they should look for it, right? And if it's not ready, hopefully you send a communication message like through Slack or Skype or Link, I don't know. Or there's a program called Mattermost that we're using. Um, but you do that. So that's that again. Just think about how you ask that question, right? I know in the systems they ask you, give me an estimate for how many hours you're going to do a task. Then they ask you, um, what is your actuals that you spend, and then what's your estimate to do, right? How much left to do? I think the question is how much left to do is more important than the actuals. If you're an accountant and you're billing by hours, then you want to know your actuals, right? Because that's what you bill for. As a consultant, I know so many people that talk about billing for stuff, right? We always want to, what's my billing rate? What do I bill for? How much do I do? What do I track? I got to get my actuals. And actuals really aren't a an agile idea. We don't care. We want to know what you get done. Because if you're not getting anything done, then I can't test it. I can't drop it. I can't show it to the customer. So it has no value to the sprint, right? So it's all about getting it done. Um, Man, if you have thoughts on the difference, but next time you run a scrum, don't ask them what you did. How many hours did you do? Ask them how many hours to getting it done, and get them to. That's another good point. If I were to ask you how many hours to get it done, it's making you make another level of commitment, right? So if I commit to something, I'm putting my word that I'm going to get it done, and then say, hey, if you can't do it, just give us a call and we'll help you finish it. And that's the team part, right? So um, just think about that next time. Ask them, how much did you get done? What's left to do? And when do you think you'll get it done, or something like that? And get that little micro commitment. I mean, we commit to a sprint, right? Week or 2 weeks, how much time it takes to get something done. But then here's a little micro commitment during the sprint. So maybe that's a different way of also doing your daily scrum, right? Instead of necessarily going, What did you get done? What are you going to do? And then, what are your blockers? I mean, it's good to say what you got done, so make sure everybody knows what you finished. And oh, I didn't see that in the system. Oh, cool. I'll go look for it right after Scrum, and I'll go grab it. And then said, what are you going to do? Maybe it should be, what are you going to get done today? What's your things you're going to get done? So here, look, we're changing the book. It's not all about the book, right? What people write. It's also about what makes sense to get teams better. So here we're already deviating from the book on the 3 questions. And we're going to talk about questions one day, because I've been pondering a lot, and the whole question of, what does a story take, what shape? And I've seen so many, I call them the Agile Accountants. I have to draw a graphic with little horns, and the Agile Accountants come in, maybe a little horn, I'm an Agile Accountant. And they want to know exactly, your hours and your exact stuff, or that you are putting stories in the system in story format as something I want, so that, right? And I've had groups actually tell me, hey, Greg, can we put a little query in the system to audit whether or not the as something I want, so that shows up in the description? And I just look at people and I go, I don't even think you know what that means. I don't even think you know why we asked those 3 questions. You have no idea, do you? You're just like, oh, the book says I should do it, so I'm going to put a little thing in the description. Anyway, it's 5 a.m. in the morning. This is 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. We're going to be done because it's 16.58. We went over. Ooh, scary. But I think it's better now. I'm not going over what I'm going to be doing and what we're doing in the future. Still got more work to do. Got a couple subscribers. It's awesome. Woohoo! Woohoo! Yay! Keep subscribing. Keep sharing. I'm going through my LinkedIn and just pinging people. Say, hey, subscribe. But I want to share with the general public what we're doing. So again, good morning. See you later. Now I'm gonna get ready to log this show and go work out a little bit. Try to get all this done before it gets too early or too late and everybody starts waking up and asking me to do stuff. Anyway, 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. Hope you join us. Hope you share. Hope you subscribe. And I hope this is useful. Please comment. Let me know. And I haven't cracked my head yet. It's fun. All right. Take care. Take care. Happy scrumming.